gods of rock and roll.
In our beginnings, back in the 60s, everything we did and just about every aspect of our business was centered around R&B and Southern Soul.
Oh, sookie, sookie now. Hey! Come on, baby. Hey there, sugar dumplings. Let me tell you something.
We were lucky enough to get some stuff going as far as our little studio. It was, of course, King Floyd and Gene Knight with Mr. Big Stuff, then Dorothy Moore, then ZZ Hill, and so on, Bobby Bland, Little Milton, and Johnny Taylor, and all the others. And we had a good bit of success with that, so that's what we stuck with.
Get your house in order. For Jesus is coming. No man knows where or when. Get your house in order.
There are not many more artists coming along to fill in the gaps where the Johnny Taylor and Bobby Bland, the Little Milton and Denise LaSalle and ZZ Hill. There's just not anybody coming along to fill those shoes. And the beauty of somebody like Framing the Red coming along is that here was a fairly local, general Mid-South local rock act that had a huge fan base. Now that's what we had with the soul and blues artists. We had acts with big fan bases. And unbelievably, these guys had a fan base all over the country. I couldn't believe it, the number of gigs that they played and the areas that they covered. I mean, coast to coast. I mean, they were out there doing it just like the big guys were, except they were doing it all on their own.
In order for he's coming back. One more thing. You know there's so many homeless people in this world today, but my God got plenty of houses and land. If you give him your life today, get your house in order. Oh, do it today. Get your
Mark out the beasts. They live. I like that.
What is enhance is flat?
No, nothing's flat. Enhance does it. I mean, the main thing is if you want more treble, you go.
Oh, okay.
Here,
So that'll let you like
and that'll
mix the
cut it.
overall like a master.
Right.
Okay.
And then
Okay, I got you now. Okay. Well,
let's see if that feels good.
yeah, that's good.
And if you're better, I mean, you can always do this, but if you got to.
No, I don't have to touch it. I actually don't. I don't touch it. I usually keep my hands
Okay,
kind of
so
on
just
my.
hang there for a second.
Framing the Red is a very talented group. They're very hard working. They're on the road all the time. They live the songs they write about. They have worked really well with Kent, and it's a creative process. No one's got all the answers. You got to be open. You've got to You got to be comfortable enough that you can come in and really pour your heart out.
I need to talk back, Mike, in here.
Imagine it like this.
Okay.
Now, I'm coming out of your guitar with this 4-foot cable. Where's the first place it goes?
Into that wall.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
And so out of the Y into what?
Actually, it goes this way.
Okay.
My guitar's going to go into that, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. Then this is right.
Right? Except you have no input to the end.
Yeah.
Right now.
All right.
That's what I was saying this 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
We're all confusing the shit out of each other.
I wasn't confusing me.
You were confusing me. Check, mic check, 1, 2. Yeah, but it's like, even when I turn my knob, like I got it maxed out, it's not very loud. Life just a long-haired hippie down from Mississippi. Ain't got no savior on my side.
They kind of stood for what the new Malaco is about. My expectation were guys that wanted to take advantage of an opportunity, were guys that wanted to work hard. With Old Trace, that's what we were looking for. More Mississippi, Southern, true music. And these guys are doing it.
Well, they say that there's no cure for the sickness in my soul, but I found... And the vision the whole time for this was Southern rock and roll. You know, it was a rock and roll band. I had transferred from kind of doing the melodic thing, and you know, I guess say like my high school years, I was more into the melodic side of it. And then coming into this record, there was a vision, and there was always a vision, but to hone in on that vision, you know, it takes sometimes years to figure out exactly where you're going with your sound. We knew we wanted Southern rock and roll, and Cody's a very rootsed Southern blues player, so you take that and you use it to your advantage. This record has more of that sound. You know, it has everything kind of follows in itself with the Southern sleaze rock, and that's where our niche is. You know, I mean, we play music for the blue collar working man, so it's, you know, we're doing the whole bluesy, you know, Southern rawness. I think this record is going to speak volumes for the sound of FTR and where the direction is going and where the direction was leading up to for 7 years previous to this.
We just had to really just sit down and make conscious decisions on the direction of the record, which is the most important thing, is what it was going to sound like, and what it was going to entail. In my vision, and I think Cody and Jordan and everybody got on board, was to make a record that was a 70s kind of sounding record, right? And it wasn't like a modern rock record. I think we all came to that decision that that's what it was going to be.
Looking at a band 10 years ago and looking at a band now, you know, I mean, I think any band, it's going to change. It's going to be different, unless, you know, it's one sole person that's the vision throughout the whole project. You know, with this, you know, there's been people come and go, influences from other artists, and even in the playing, you know, when songs are written, you know, I might write them one way, and then when they get in the room with everybody, influences are going to change some things.
Well, the first two records definitely had more of a rock and roll vibe to it. Maybe the first record was a little bit more alternative compared to the second. You know, the first record had its sound, and you can tell the band was kind of starting to go a direction where they wanted what they wanted their sound to be, and it was getting more of a southerny kind of vibe, but still rock and roll. And then whenever I came into the band, the guys were like, "Okay, so for this record, this is the idea we have in mind. You know, this style, we're still going to make it our own. We're still going to rock it up. We're going to make it," and that's where the brand Southern Sleaze ended up coming in. We wanted it to be southerny, but we still want it to be like sleazy rock and roll. So we were like, you know, as far as writing drum parts for it, I have a metal background. Of course, I went to school, majored in music. You know, I got my hands wet in different styles of music over the years, reading charts and stuff like that. But I definitely had to change things up a bit as far as coming into a southern rock and roll band from a metal band.
It's been pedal to metal, so it's been a lot different since the new album came out. But it's been, I don't know. The first couple of years were just bam, 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 road, 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 and then when recording started, you know, it was like alternate, record, road, alternate, you know. But now it's just full tilt, you know. I gotta pop that T right.
You might have to pronounce it like a C.
No, I don't have the tone right. It's not responding quite. I have my, I guess you call my skeleton of gear, which is the mainstays that never leave, you know. And we'd pick new sounds that branch off if we needed a tone for this or that, but I almost always rely on my Spawn amp and my various main guitars, you know.
So what do you think?
I like where it's at. I'm just thinking, like, I kind of want to give it a hair more gain, saturation of overdrive.
Okay.
We'd go lay down foundations, and then we'd talk about it, and we'd play some more, and we'd talk about it. We're plugging in pedals and, weren't necessarily relying on the computer to do this. We were, pulling, I have pedals, he's got pedals, he's got tons of guitars, different pickups, et cetera, and we were just going through this process until, we both felt that, okay, we're on to something. I think Jordan and Cody and the guys, they're going to write like they write. Okay? I mean, I think over the years, Jordan has been very consistent in writing, his style of music, which is great. Western, but it's fucking rock. It's heavy as fuck. It's cool.
Sweet.
Tomorrow, email me Hair of the Dog.
Okay.
That way I can start
So
listening
this
to it. So next will be People and Hair of the Dog. That would be the two. It's just in your voice. I mean, some days are better than others. It's like coming off a tour. You can't come in and cut because you're going to be out for weeks at a time and it's going to sound rough. So it's like getting rest and spacing your days out that way. When you do come in, the takes you do get are quality. And then some nights you come in after being off a week and you start singing and Kent just tells me to go home. So it all depends. It varies. I think everything from weather to rest to, the road, I think all goes into that. And then there's some nights you walk in there and man, it's like everything's just there. And then there's some nights where, you know, you try and you're just like, yeah, it's not working. I got to go a different route or either go home and rest the vocals more. But I think it all different. It just various factors. Like I said, I think rest and not being on the road counts for a big part of, you know, a good vocal performance. I think if we'd have made this record at an earlier stage, it wouldn't be what it is. I'll say that. I think it took 9 years to get to that point. I think it took 9 years of trials and errors and members and people coming and going, and I think 9 years of, you know, building is what created that sound. I think that going back in time, that record would not have been possible 10 years ago. It just wouldn't have been the same, you know. And I think that's part of it, man. I think bands, you know, have to go through that evolution, through that change, through that process, you know, in order to find where they really want to be.
It's a feeling that I can't explain. Oh, and I know that's why. God, I know that's why. You're better than the whiskey. You're better than the whiskey. Life been stepped on, pushed down, and talked to and used. The puppet in the show, lie was somebody else's muse. I gave all I had and sometimes more.
He comes home and he takes care of his kids and he takes care of me, and we're a family, and then he leaves and he FaceTimes and he struggles being gone, and I know he does, and I know that's hard, and that to me is what I'm most proud of, because I know the struggle of him being gone, because I know the struggle for me for him being gone, you know.
And then you say, oh, it'll make you love, it can make you hurt. It's a feeling that I can't explain. Oh, and I know that's why.
He's always going to be Jordan Newman of Frame in the Red, but he's always going to be Jordan Newman father, you know. And he holds himself to where if something happens, he knows that he's a dad, and he's got to make the dad decision first, and he's got to look and see what it's going to do to his kids or his wife, or, you know, before he makes a decision. He thinks about us first.
The first thing that he wants to take care of is he wants to get back and spend a little bit of time with his family. That's great. That's true. That's real. And, you know, we that's what's supposed to happen. There's a lot of rock stars, but those children only have one daddy, and he's got to be able to be there for him. He's got to be able to be there for his wife. And he doesn't certainly take advantage of it. He takes, you know, he spends some time at home and he's here. And the group works well with Jordan in order to, you know, give him a few other opportunities.
You're better than the whiskey. You're better than the whiskey.
We're on the ferry in passing to Port Aransas for the show tonight, so it took us about an hour to get on this thing. Now we're in the process of waiting on this huge ship to pass, and they're going to take us off and we get off on the island. So an hour and some odd minutes later, we finally made it.
the stuff you don't see is all the work and the production behind the scenes. Most people, they come to a show, so they get there, we're already set up. You know, they don't see all the unloading and building and deconstruction and reloading up and all the moving we have to do. Like, we'll go someplace and we'll play, say we're starting on Thursday night, we'll play a Thursday night show in one city, and then as soon as the show's over, we have to pack up and go 2 or 3 hours another direction, maybe get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep, wake up and do it again. It definitely takes a toll on your body. It wears you out, but being mentally strong and you know, I encourage myself while I'm on the road mentally, just to keep myself sharp and to keep myself, you know, actively thinking, just because, you know, you can get out there and, you know, you're on the road across the country somewhere, anything can happen to you.
Got a one-way ticket, nowhere bound. By the time that I come home, you'll already be long gone.
Next batch. All the rooms are themed.
It's a hard decision that you have to make
Whatever that is. Okay. We got
when
military
your life
prop
is
planes or
one
there's a show planes on this. I don't know what they are. I know I like this.
No, it ain't easy, and I don't expect you to understand. It's a lonely road.
I like that kitchen over there we're not gonna use.
Only heartbreaks in the end. It's a fight you're gonna lose, 'cause it's a battle you can't win.
Alright, well, I love you.
It's hard to kill
Tell the kids I love them.
when the devil
Alright,
lives
bye.
within. When they finally call my name,
I went from playing my local bar, you know, every month to a nationally touring act. And everybody has kind of treated me a little differently, some for better, some for worse. But the fan base for Framing the Red is so awesome. Like, they've got such an awesome fan base, and I was so well received by everyone that it was overwhelming how well I got treated. It's Cody, Jordan, and Caleb. They keep me grounded. I think we keep each other grounded. I mean, that's who I turn to in my off time when I have a problem.
Are you playing by yourself?
Welcome to the family, guys. We're a fun band, man. We like to meet people, so on our break, make sure you come up, shake our hands. We'd love to meet you. That way, when we come back through, we know you by name, or at least we recognize your face. And we're kind of like a church of rock and roll, guys. We travel all over the country, and we play rock and roll for anybody that's willing to hear it. And we spend over 200 days a year touring between Florida and Utah and Michigan down to Mississippi. Everywhere in between, we're always on the road. So you can find us online, framingthered.com. We also, in every church, they have an offering plate. And if you like what you hear tonight, by no obligation are we going to hound you into putting money in here. But if you like what you hear, we accept cash, debit cards with PIN numbers, land titles, car keys with your tag attached to it, things like that. It all goes toward a great cause of strip clubs, weed, and alcohol.